To start with, the question was great. How did I get into UnoCoin, right? How did I start that? What's my experience? So I was living in England, and I had some assets in England till 2011. I was living there. I lived and worked in the UK because a lot of people say they went abroad and they spent a lot of time and things like that. But in abroad, when you work in abroad and then live there, own your own assets like house and things, till that time, that's an experience of abroad. So that's what I got. I was living there from 2004 till 11 for 7 years. When I was living in England, I was working for Hilton, and then I had some assets. One of them was my house. The price of the assets just collapsed in 2008. And for me, I come from India, right? So house and your property, your land value don't just collapse like the way it did in the UK. So for me, I wanted to look for some answers. So I was looking up online and I came across Bitcoin. When I came across Bitcoin, I just wrote it off because for me, it didn't make sense at all at the time. But eventually, when I was doing this research of how these seven big banks in the UK are so in control of the people, of 97% of the people in the UK are so well controlled by the banks, because they pumped their housing prices and they gave mortgages only to the new house buyers, that eventually pumped up the price and everything. But what happens when it collapses? When it collapses, the people become banks' slaves. Means like I was paying about £700 a month as my mortgage. Then after the recession, because I'm not able to pay so much, I usually end up paying like say 200 to 300 pounds. So what makes that change in my number of years of payment? My number of years of payment was remaining was some 19 years. When the amount dropped, my number of years to pay was somewhere around 45 years. So do you understand the amount of years that I'll be indebted to the bank and I'll become slave to the bank? So that kind of a system was very nicely being pushed in the UK. So for me, I was like, oh, this is not for me. That's when it got me more interested in Bitcoin, because then I realized Bitcoin calls itself decentralized, Bitcoin calls itself open source. What are these things? I started learning about it. Eventually, when I learned about it by 2010, I couldn't work in that Hilton anymore. I couldn't get the same things that I was thinking that I was going to do, because with that asset that I had held in the UK, I was planning to sell one day, make a lot of profit and go travel the world and everything. But then suddenly it cut short because of the price change and everything. So for that reason, I actually started believing in Bitcoin a lot more than what a lot of people would talk about online. By 2010 I quit. I started to study for a year. I did my economics for a year because I wanted to understand a little bit more in depth about cryptocurrency and how does it fit in this economics. And I realized crypto economics is completely different. It is a superior economics out there to this controlled economics that has been manipulated and then controlled by the few banks and few states in this world, which is like New York and London and Berlin maybe. So that got me very interested. I quit my job, and the travel that I wanted to do, I still continue to do it. By 2011, I quit UK completely, took a little bit of money, and I started traveling. Traveled for about 15 countries, saw nobody could talk to me about Bitcoin. That means for first 4 years of me knowing about Bitcoin, I did not get even one person to talk about Bitcoin because nobody knew about it. And the only people I could meet was online. Later, eventually, I met some people to meet offline in physical meetup was in Bangalore. So the surprise that I got was I'm also from Bangalore, and the number of people who were interested in Bitcoin were in Bangalore. So I thought, okay, Bangalore is the place for me to settle back. And I was back in Bangalore by end of 2012. I was talking to some people, and then I met them eventually in January 13. By then, I was like ecstatic because wow, that was this group of people that they were going to be talking about Bitcoin. So we kept meeting every week. And every meetup that we had, there was a question that people would come and ask there, that where do we buy Bitcoin? So that question got us to start believing in starting an exchange in India. And UnoCoin is the exchange that we started. By December, we got everything done. We recruited the tech guy also who's running in UnoCoin right now. We recruited him in month of a couple of 4 months before this launch. And then eventually we got the product also ready. We had the company ready. UnoBit Solutions were the company by the time we launched UnoCoin in December 2013, 15th of December. We were pretty loud in terms of that because we called in about 35 different news agencies. Half of them didn't even know that there was something like Bitcoin out there. and they were just pulling their hair from their head because they were like, what is this? This is like a parallel currency of the world, and you guys are running it, you're having a conference, and we did not even hear about it. That kind of a feel we got from the media house people. And eventually the media house people even like wrote some things about it, which, even there's another guy called John Southhurst. He was managing Asia's Bitcoin related startups and things. He wrote a piece of article about us, and once that was done, guys from New York, who the investors heard about us, and then they invested in 2014. That's what is UnoCoin. UnoCoin became big by then, and eventually UnoCoin was not the end all for me because it's just one trading platform, but Bitcoin can do a lot more than that in terms of the financial world. So much more happens in a financial world. So cryptocurrency can also do that. That was my idea. So UnoCoin was done and dusted, where it's a custodial exchange, allows you to trade and buy Bitcoin. They give you a wallet, as UnoCoin will give you a wallet, and you will hold your cryptocurrency there. But then that's not it, right? Because the people who use that don't get to learn about it. Is the knowledge not been around by that? You just get to hold crypto and use crypto for trading, but you don't learn anything about it. And the reason that you need to learn is more important for me. So I went ahead and did a lot more things around it. I worked for BitNation to improve the knowledge of the people around, to make them understand what Bitcoin technology can do. Then eventually I did another startup called Try Bitcoin, where I would allow cash users to buy and sell Bitcoin in India. I did in many states, including Bangalore. Bangalore was a very successful platform for that, but I couldn't really scale it because in other states like Delhi and Bombay was still okay, but Delhi, we couldn't get anyone to do an exchange because they were all afraid to meet each other to do a cash transaction, right? So we had to finally drop our Try Bitcoin also. Then I worked with a few of the exchanges, helped them, build their product. Like I'll give you those names in a minute anyway. But eventually I realized something like InstaCrypto will be more useful because we're going to get into the payment sector, right? That's what Nirmala Sitharaman is also saying. Payments dunya, the way she says it, it's very clear for the Western world that yes, India is now going to look into the payment space of cryptocurrency, where everybody else around the world are not looking into payments. They're just looking into trading and things like that, and asset holding of crypto. But yes, we are going into payment space, and that's what InstaCrypto is working on. The idea of crypto is not going to be limited just here. I may be building in some more, futuristic products. One of them I'm working with right now is called Zapit. Zapit is a Bitcoin Cash wallet. It does a lot of things for a Bitcoin Cash blockchain-based scenario, like the NFTs on Bitcoin Cash blockchain, and many things that can be built on Bitcoin Cash blockchain is much more feasible and user-friendly for the future because the transactions are instant and almost free. When I say instant and almost free, what comes to our mind in India is UPI, right? UPI is like that. It is instant and it's free. That's why UPI is so popular. It is for the masses, not for the rich only. So that's what we want from crypto, and that's what we are planning to build. And there are many things in the pipeline that we're going to be building on. So that was my story for starting UnoCoin, but that doesn't end there. And soon there'll be more products globally. We will be learning about them through my platforms, hopefully.
Thanks, Vikram, for sharing. I think it was a great story, and good luck. I think I'm sure you're an inspiration for a lot of people in it. Thanks for that.
Well, thanks a lot, mate. I think you got the question. Usually, I wouldn't want to go on introducing myself, the whole thing, but because you asked, of course, I had to say it. That's how the whole inception happened. And then the idea that I got into crypto in a way that when I was trying to buy cryptocurrency in 2011, because it took me about 2 years to eventually completely believe in it online wise, because I was only meeting people online. To believe in it was by 2011. By the time I had done so much research online, and there was one of these platforms called bitcointalk.org was the only platform then. And then the only other exchange that was available then was Mt. Gox. So I could have easily bought from Mt. Gox, but then once I had bought from Mt. Gox, I would have held my coins on Mt. Gox, right? I would have even lost it so easily because a lot of people lost their coins on Mt. Gox. So because I didn't buy it on Mt. Gox, I bought it through that exchange. Sorry, not the exchange, to the platform, bitcointalk.org. I had to do my own download of my own wallet. That was a full node wallet. I had to download the whole ledger on my laptop. Well, of course, the ledger was not too big then. It took about 5 to 10 minutes to download the whole ledger, not too much. The wallet was ready. I downloaded, I received my crypto on that because he sent me 0.1 first, and then the remaining of 3.9 from my first purchase of 4 Bitcoins that I bought in. So with that, I learned a little bit of wallets. I learned a little bit of crypto. I learned that how you hold and how this is more useful. And because it's a non-custodial thing, right? Till that time, people are only used to custodial thing, which is from the banks. And here it's a non-custodial thing. The amount that I learned was so much pleasurable for me that I wanted to bring that to everybody. That's one of the reasons why we have Insta Crypto today, is because we're not a custodial exchange. We don't want to hold your cryptocurrency. We want you to hold your own. It just spreads knowledge and then information about crypto.
Right. I think that's a very good point, because I think in 2016, 2017, there was an exchange, right? CoinSecure.in in India, which went down suddenly.
Oh, poor thing. Yes.
I lost. I mean, they refunded in Indian rupees, so I did not lose any money, so to say. But they did not refund me in Bitcoin, right? I had some worth, 20,000 worth Bitcoins, 20,000 Indian rupees worth of Bitcoins, and they refunded me in Indian rupees. And luckily for me, the Bitcoin price went down, so it was not a bad thing. But obviously, they I think they did not refund anyone's Bitcoin. So
yes, they did not refund. I remember that.
It is very important.
Totally. I think CoinSecure was a great exchange. I loved that exchange. I knew those guys as close friends. They were like Benson, Amitabh, and the CEO of that place, the new CEO. He was nothing to do with crypto. He just had some money and he came into the space. So those guys were like, I don't know what, it was an internal thing. I know for sure of that. But they were a very nice exchange. They were a blockchain-based exchange. So every trade that happened on CoinSecure was on-chain. You could check that out very nicely, on the blockchain and everything. But hey, that's one of those things that always happens. I think some greed may set into that, and then the exchange went down. So you're saying the DEX can exchange that? Can you explain a little bit more what you meant, millionaire trader?
I meant decentralized exchange, no?
Oh yeah, totally. What you're saying is true. Decentralized exchanges are the new thing. They will definitely change a lot of things. What they will do is they will remove the middleman and remove that part where you're trusting your crypto with somebody that is taken out. You're putting it on a smart contract, and there are many things that's coming out on these decentralized exchanges, right? Your exchange is there. Their escrow systems are decentralized now. Staking is decentralized now. Your loans are decentralized now. So the many things that's coming around been built on Ethereum. The only sad part is that Ethereum, every time, because these things are on-chain, right? DEX parts are all on-chain. So you will have to do a on-chain transaction and keep paying their on-chain fees. That right now, the fees of Ethereum is also going pretty high, somewhere close to around 600 rupees to get a decent transaction timing on that. So that's pretty high, I would say, for the masses, for like people coming out of India, Africa, and Asia and all. We wouldn't want to spend 600 rupees for each transaction, because sometimes your transaction value itself is about 600. You can't be paying 600 as fee. So hopefully that Bitcoin Cash will solve that. That's what Bitcoin Cash is working on. The idea is Bitcoin Cash will eventually make these kind of similar Ethereum-based smart contracts, which is already available there. Zapit Wallet is one of them. But then every time when you do an on-chain transaction in Bitcoin Cash based DEX platforms, is you paying very least amount of fee to do an on-chain transaction. Those things are very popular will be very popular in the future. So I even had this argument with somebody called Max Kaiser. I don't know if anybody has heard of him. He talks about financial. He's got a financial show on RT, Russia Television. So he's pretty good. He's a Bitcoin maximalist. That's his problem. He's Bitcoin maximalist. He doesn't understand Bitcoin Cash. So he's one of the investors in Uno Coin. So we were just talking on my Twitter the other day, and he was laughing at when I said about Bitcoin Cash. So I told Max, this is nothing. I was talking about Bitcoin way back in 2010, and people were laughing at it. So I did not mind because I know it was completely new for a lot of people, including those in the UK. My friends and family who worked, some of my friends who worked in financial sector also laughed. But then, of course, it makes sense for them to laugh because they've never heard anything like that. And then you suddenly go and tell them something like as stupid as Farmville coins is how that Bitcoin sounded then. You tell them like Farmville coins kind of Bitcoin, is this going to be really famous and popular? And this has got a fixed supply. It's going to help in terms of economics of how it's going to pick up in value and things that people laughed. So I told Max, yes, of course you're laughing at me because of Bitcoin Cash. 10 years ago, people are laughing at me on Bitcoin. Today, you're laughing at me on Bitcoin Cash. Eventually, in 5 to 6 years down the line, when a couple of more bull runs happen and people will switch to something like Bitcoin Cash for payments industry, then Bitcoin Cash will also be popular. But then, of course, somebody like Max is so Bitcoin maximalist. It is a little hard for him to understand. He's a little old also. So he must be a little, the earwax must be too much, so it doesn't get to his head. The understanding is not there for him. He understands Bitcoin, but he doesn't really understand the Bitcoin or the crypto economics. So, hey guys, I think we got a couple of them to introduce themselves. And I think the others are also there. Anybody else want to jump in and then, introduce yourself and have a specific question to ask and discuss? You can do that. I'm sorry, I think I cut somebody off. Please go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's me again.
Yeah, go ahead,
Aditya here. So my question was, so it's the best secure bet as a fresher would be like signing up with Instacrypto and having my own wallet. That would be the best thing that I would not lose, because
Yes.
you won't be holding my other codes and everything as a exchange, and I will have it on my physical hardware disk.
Totally.
Yeah.
It all depends on what wallet you want to hold. You could hold even a hardware wallet like the Trezor and many other that's available. Mind you, there's so many things that has happened with Trezor, right? The addresses of all the holders of Trezor wallet is being leaked and things like that. Any shit may happen. But anyway, like Trezor, if you want to hold your own, hardware wallet or a paper wallet, you can just print it off the internet. You don't even have to buy that hardware. But hey, a lot of people would like a hardware, then you can definitely download one. And yeah, that's one of the ways that you can receive your crypto on the hardware or a paper wallet or a non-custodial wallet choices that has been mentioned out there. For Bitcoin Cash, I would recommend Zapit wallet. It's just that the Zapit wallet has got a lot more features. So Bitcoin Cash, like I said, on the blockchain, we're building a lot of things like NFT and everything. All those things are available and ready on Zapit wallet. And like I said, all of those transactions are on-chain. So you're paying very small fee, but you're able to experience an on-chain transactions and on-chain investments, platforms, NFTs. Everything is available on Zapit wallet for Bitcoin Cash only.
I have one more question. So regarding this, what to do and how to go with the physical disk and having a physical wallet. Do we have these suggestions and all the lineup in the app itself?
Yes. So if you click on any one of the coins, Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Ethereum, Tron, those are the 4 ones that we have. When you click on each coin, under each coin there is Get Started and Wallets. Those wallet section will explain you the whole list is there of the wallets that we suggest. Very few wallets we have suggested. There are many out there. If you've understood the core idea that you should get your private seed phrase or your recovery phrase to write down at the time when you first download the wallet. If you get that kind of a feature from any other new wallets that have been built out there, you can use any of them. They're all non-custodial. So that means whichever wallet is giving you that seed phrase, you don't have to use that seed phrase back in that same wallet, you can use that same seed phrase in any other non-custodial wallet, and you will be able to recover your cryptos.
So whenever you are saying that non-custodial, what does it mean? Does it mean that our codes won't be in their hands?
Yes, totally. The guys who built that wallet will not hold your cryptocurrency. The same way when they exchange, like I would give you an example of UnoCoin again. A UnoCoin wallet, as soon as you register to UnoCoin with your email address, UnoCoin will give you a wallet where you will be able to hold your Bitcoin. You can import your Bitcoin from somewhere else or buy Bitcoin on the platform of UnoCoin and keep it in that wallet. But that wallet is held by UnoCoin. So if UnoCoin crashed or went down, just in case, I'm not suggesting any of that, your wallet is in their custody, so you will not have the access to remove that Bitcoin from there and move it anywhere else. But the same thing, if you have your own non-custodial wallet, then you will have the freedom to move your Bitcoin or hold it, or even if that crashed, that phone, you can hold that, you can put that seed phrase that you wrote down the first time in another wallet, and you'll be able to recover your crypto. A Bitcoin address means that wherever you will receive your Bitcoin. So once you download a wallet will have send and receive. A send is if you have Bitcoin on your wallet, you can send it to somebody's address. To receive, when you click receive from that wallet, you will get an address. That address you post it, it's like an account number of your bank. You give it account, you give your account number to somebody, only then they can put money into your account, right? Similarly, on that wallet, you will click on that receive. When you click receive, you will get an address. Copy paste that address and send it to your friends for them to send you the Bitcoin. The same kind of address is required on InstaCrypto's platform also. If you put that address is only when you can complete a buy order. Because when you complete a buy order and send us rupees, you should have given us an address where we would like to send you your Bitcoin. So tell me more about the treasure problem. I'll explain it to you. So what happened was a lot of hardware was bought. Treasure hardwares were bought, and they were shipped all over the world. And while buying and receiving that, a lot of people gave their physical address details, right, to get that shipped. So all that list of addresses got hacked and then got stolen and got leaked. So what that means is if somebody has got the list of that addresses, and they know with that address, each of these addresses hold a treasure hardware wallet in their house. So that was the compromise that happened. It may not be very risky right now, but you just never know what people can do with that kind of information. So the last question that I have got here is from George. What is the status of crypto in India? Will it be banned in India? My friend, crypto will not be banned in India. That is my gut feeling, because my gut feeling is with the top of the league in India, who's Nirmala Sitharaman, who's the finance minister of India. Very clearly, she's saying that we will not ban in crypto in India. Like I even mentioned before, India is not special. We are not seeing any other country being banned. So India is also not going to ban crypto. A lot of media news has been saying that ban is in place and things like that. But hey, that is not something that is to be taken seriously, because media puts out a lot of media articles out there to get more clicks. They're not going to write things about Bitcoin as being not banned because they'll get less clicks. I'm presuming. So they're putting out information according to the more clicks they were going to get, and they find that by writing ban of crypto in India, they're getting more clicks, I guess. So that's why they're doing it. Otherwise, you can look up on my Twitter or or InstaCrypto's handles, social media handles. You will see 2 videos of Nirmala Sitharaman. Very clearly, she's saying that there is not going to be any extreme measure taken with crypto. That means it's not going to be banned. And also she's talking about pro crypto in terms of being used for experiments, and also we're going to be using crypto for in payments dunya. The word that she says, payments dunya, is very clear, because we are leading the world in terms of payments with UPI, and I think she's very happy to try out crypto also in future. So all that clearly put in place, we're not going to be banning. So there are reports of 2 days ago about IP addresses of exchanges. What do you think? I think it is another scam of the media house to get more clicks, because by writing something so clearly as IP addresses will be taken care of from the exchanges, we will going to do that, this and that. Dude, media guys, I know they're smart to get more clicks, but they're not smart enough to write the truth about what Nirmala Sitharaman is saying. The problem in India is that we have a person on the top, but people choose to ignore because they think they're too big, and that's what media is doing today. Nirmala Sitharaman is the top of the league in the financial world in India because she's managing the financial sector. So we would like to listen to her, none of these media. If she had to say something like that, she would have something like that in mind and should have said that. Okay, so that's a good information that I had not heard of. The Coinomi says about these exchanges. Exchange in, okay. So what you looked for, Vivek, is an exchange, but I would like you to look for Coinomi as an OMI in the end, because that's the non-custodial wallet. This is an exchange. There are two which is similar, just the one letter spelling is different. Coin OMI is your wallet, and this is what you found as an information from the site. Let me write it down for you. It will make it more easier. This is the wallet. So you look up for this wallet on your Android, on your iOS, and you'll be able to find that. So on Allspaces, my contact is Vikram Nikam. I think on Twitter, it's Vikram_Nikam. So I'll just put in my Twitter details here. Yeah, and YouTube, I have it under Insta Crypto. That's a better way to find, because under Insta Crypto, there are a lot of these latest videos that I have got, and everything is available there. No worries, Vivek. That's fine. But yeah, once you find the wallet, please let me know how that goes. George, can you explain a little bit more about your question? If you want to write down, or you can go on your voice and then explain it. We can take that question.
Actually, I was just wanted to know about the dot, like the dot network and Kusama. Like there's dot coin and there's Kusama, and both of them are like they use a separate network. So I just wanted to know more about it.
I'm sorry, I've not come across that. If you can throw in a little bit more light on that, we'll be able to have a discussion.
Okay, 1 minute. Give me some time.
Okay. Quickly, guys, just give me 1 second too. I'll be back. Summer days, yeah, one of those things you get real thirsty. Oh, you're welcome, Aditya. That's you're always welcome. That's one of the reasons why we've been having meetup. I've been having meetup since end of 12, 13 beginning, is so that, a lot of people want to meet someone. Even if I don't meet you in person, I meet you online. That means I directly answer your question. Gives you a lot more confidence with crypto. Something that I really missed when I was new to crypto. In the first 4 years of me knowing crypto, and I did not find anybody to talk about it, just got me frustrated. Because how much should I believe in this? Because I'm the only one reading about it. I don't see anybody. Was like a biggest thing. So that's why we've been having meetups, so that people get to meet me, and then they get the confidence to continue believing in crypto, and then exploring that space. Definitely. We will be looking forward to that too. So we had more weekly then. Now we have bi-weekly in a way that, I mean, once a month is a physical meetup, once a month is a online meetup. And the first Friday of the month, we usually have the physical meetup. If you're from Bangalore, we are having a meetup this time in Koramangala. There's a place called P Animal. That's like the venue that we have chosen for this week, the next coming month's meetup. So the time when I knew about Bitcoin, right, in the later part, like the first 2 years, it just took me 2 years to believe in it completely, to put in some money and buy into crypto. All that time I was just doing my research. Anyway, the first 6 months I have to write it off also, because I read about Bitcoin and didn't even bother to knowing about it and completely wrote it off. After 6 months, because it came back again, is when I did a little bit more research, and I found these words of decentralized and non-custodial and open source project and everything. Then I did my own research and found out, and all that is actually out there to make this cryptocurrency financial system a parallel system to the existing, because the existing was so much controlled. But then after knowing that, I couldn't meet anybody. And then eventually, when I traveled also for 2 years, 15 countries, when I was traveling and initiated the topic from my side about Bitcoin, some of the people who were traveling with us at that time even said, "Dude, I'm not interested in buying anything. Don't sell us anything." I was like, "Oh, okay. I understand what these people think now." When you talk about Bitcoin so much that they think that I'm selling them something, I had to eventually tell them that, "Dude, I'm not selling you anything. I'm just giving you this information about Bitcoin that is out there to change the whole world of how finance is going to work." But of course, a lot of people who didn't know anything about finance and anything know about any control and things like that, they were like, okay, whatever. But then some people who knew about real finance and how banks were controlling and things like that, they would show in a little interest, and they say, okay, something is out there, interesting and decentralized and open source, and this is the kind of project, because they had heard about some projects before Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not the first project of its kind. They were tried and tested many projects before that. Words like, with names like eCash, Gold Cash, e-currency, gold.com, whatever those were. But then they were all centralized. Because they were all centralized, it was very easy for the American government to come down and shut them down. But with Bitcoin not being anything in centralized system and making it completely decentralized, won that particular battle. So that was very important feature that Bitcoin had. Of course, even for me, I took some time to learn about it. But once I knew, when I was talking about it, few people who knew about what I was saying gave a lot of interest in learning and listening to me. Well, that was my little experience from my travel and meeting people. So what do we discuss in physical meetups? In physical meetups, we discuss the similar things that we meet in person and talk about cryptocurrency to a lot of people, explain them what is Bitcoin. Mostly they know what it is because they've read everything online, but they've not met. But what they do, people who come to the physical meetups, what they're trying to do is really meet more people, make a network, and they're happy to come there to understand that, yes, there are people out there who are so eager about Bitcoin, and what the idea of Bitcoin is understood by many. That kind of a confidence to get, they come there on physical meetups. In physical meetups, we also give them some freebies of cryptos that we've been doing it all the time. Give them some cryptocurrencies if they never had any, because we help them download wallets. We help them store some of the Bitcoins that we give them for free, maybe a very small amount, but then that helps in terms of understanding. So George wants to know if we can talk a little bit of potentials of your DeFi. So your DeFi is the real future, if I may say, because when you say cryptocurrency is a currency that holds value and can be used for transferring in and out to do value transfer. So that's great. It's an asset class. It's a payments tool. It's a value transfer system. Bitcoin is a network and a currency by itself, which is most cryptocurrencies. What I mean by that is your fiat currency, which is INR is a currency, but it's not a payment. It's not a network also. The network is built by the banks, and the currency that we use in that network is INR. In cryptocurrency, most networks are inbuilt. Like in Bitcoin, when you write Bitcoin in a sentence with B capital, we talk about the network. And when we write B small b in a sentence, that means we're talking about the currency of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has got two things, which is the network and the currency. So similarly, like that, in that format, when we put in DeFi, so DeFi is nothing but a decentralizing the financial network. So you're already decentralizing the financial network by putting in on the Bitcoin protocol, which is the Bitcoin network. Like Bitcoin Cash, I could give you a great example. The Bitcoin Cash network is one of the biggest network today in terms of number of transactions. There is no other coin which is doing more transactions than Bitcoin Cash today. You can see that by looking up online and then checking that number of transactions, what has been done. So that itself is a DeFi. So what other DeFis have been built today are all on Ethereum platforms. The reason it is built on Ethereum platform because Ethereum has got the potential to easily build that smart contracts. So in DeFi, we have your non-custodial, your exchanges, non-custodial loan system, non-custodial, dividend system, and all that I'm talking about is been tried and tested and used on Bitcoin Cash platform, which is Bitcoin Cash blockchain also. The reason I'm saying that so clearly is because Bitcoin Cash platform will make DeFi more popular than even Ethereum. Ethereum has made it popular now, but if you understand the Ethereum fees is so high, DeFi is all on-chain transactions. When you do an on-chain transactions for a large amount, I can understand you paying a high fee and then you're doing it. But when you want on-chain transactions for the masses, you need to have small fees and instant transactions. That's what Bitcoin Cash is building. And that's where DeFi is really popular. To test the glimpse of this DeFi systems on blockchain of the Bitcoin Cash, you can download Zapit wallet. It is Zapit, ZAPIT.io. It's available on Android. iOS is just going to be ready very soon. The work is on. And this app will allow you to do a lot of these DeFi systems much more cheaper and simpler way and more instant, because with Ethereum, if you pay a little bit of less of a fee, your transaction is not instant. So that delays your DeFi protocol, that whatever you're looking at. So on Bitcoin Cash, these things are instant and very cheap. So on-chain transactions are more happening on DeFi, which is Bitcoin Cash blockchain DeFi. You can check it out on one of them, like I said, is Zapit.io.
One more doubt that I have is that you are saying that there is something called Bitcoin Cash, and when you first coined it, many was not even caring about that. Can you please tell me more about Bitcoin Cash that you are referring to earlier?
So Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin are exactly the same. It's the same protocol that was started by Satoshi Nakamoto back in 2008 with his white paper. In his white paper, he says very clearly in the abstract, peer-to-peer cash system. So what he wants is peer-to-peer cash system to be more flourishing out there, right? So to do instant transactions and peer-to-peer transactions to person, nothing to intermediaries. So when you had that idea, and Bitcoin till 2017 and 16, I would say, because in 16 they were proposing the change. So what Satoshi built was called a FIFO, first in, first out. In this codes that Satoshi had launched, anybody who does a transaction before me in microseconds also has to go through before me. But then in 2017, there was a development that was coming out from the Bitcoin core developers saying that we should actually build a replace by fee system and take away the FIFO system. A replace by fee is called RBF. What that does is, if you pay a higher fee, your transaction goes before my transaction if I pay a lower fee. So that kind of a change that was done in 2017 was not agreed upon by the core users of Bitcoin, because the main people who got onto Bitcoin in 2009, 10, 11, and 12, that first 4-5 years, knew why Bitcoin was there. Bitcoin is there to replace the existing financial system. So because that idea of Bitcoin was understood so well by these people, because you understand, Bitcoin did not have value as much as that we see today in those days. So in those days, whoever followed Bitcoin, they knew why Bitcoin was there. The Bitcoin was not there at that time for the high price. Bitcoin was freely available even though people were not taking it. It's because nobody understood why it is going to be popular. They had not understood so much in depth over the existing finance and economics. So those people who believed in it knew why Bitcoin was popular. And by replacing that in 2017, which is replaced by fee, changed the real ethos of Bitcoin. So what Bitcoin original followers of Bitcoin said was, okay, we will continue to hold the Satoshi's code, and then whoever wants to change can start a new code. So that's what happened in a fork. That's what happens in a fork, in a cryptocurrency fork. So in 2017, the new update was launched. The new update of launch was downloaded by a few people who continue to call that as Bitcoin with a new update. The older version, which was started by Satoshi, was continued by Bitcoin Cash guys. The name stays with the biggest chain. So as the original ones, a lot of people didn't understand. By the time the price of Bitcoin was pretty high, so a lot of newcomers who believed cryptocurrency as a price factor came into existence. They continued to believe the new development and they didn't mind that RPF. So they went ahead and supported more for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin name stayed with that change codes, but the original codes of Satoshi stayed with Bitcoin Cash. So that's what his Bitcoin Cash's idea was. And then in that fork, the Bitcoin Cash update. So there were two updates. One was RBF and one was the big size blocks. So there were two different chains that happened, and anybody and everybody who held Bitcoin before that fork got Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. That's how a fork happens. When the fork happens, you get double the coins. It's like a free airdrop. So everybody got their Bitcoin Cash, and the Bitcoin Cash followers moved from 1 MB space to 8 MB on the block space. From 8, it has moved to 32 MB now. That's why I was saying Bitcoin Cash has got more transactions today than any of the cryptocurrency that's out there, because of its own limitation. In Bitcoin, the limitation is only 1 MB space per block. So that means in every 10 minutes, you can only do, say, about 1,000 transactions to 10,000 transactions, because only that amount of transactions can fit 1 MB. And in Bitcoin Cash, you can take up to 32 MB. But the idea in Bitcoin Cash is to make it the payments tool of the world, right? Like how Satoshi wrote peer-to-peer cash system. For that, we can even increase the 32 MB to 64 or maybe 128 MB soon. Once 32 MB starts filling up completely, then we may even move it to higher block size. So that's the idea of Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is here to to support the real financial system of the world, not just be an asset class like the way Bitcoin is. What I mean by an asset class, just as an asset class, is if you consider any other asset in this world, like paintings, art, artifacts, say even a bar of gold, to move that around, it's an expensive affair. So Bitcoin also is like that. To move Bitcoin around, it's going to be an expensive affair. Like I said, for 600 rupees in Ethereum's fee, Bitcoin fees goes up to 1,500 rupees in Indian rupee. That is close to $20 per transaction. That is nothing. In 2017, peak of Bitcoin price, people were paying even $1,000 as a fee. So you understand, $1,000 as a fee is a lot of money to pay to move Bitcoin around. But then that limits Bitcoin to be an asset class only, and limits Bitcoin to be used by the rich class only. And we're not building cryptocurrency for rich class. Dude, they already have enough financial features for themselves. We are building cryptocurrency for the masses. So that's where Bitcoin Cash comes into play. And then that's the idea of how Bitcoin Cashes were like more sound in economics and financial understanding. So they pushed for this part of the change. And we are now building a lot of features like the DeFi features, and of course, the instant transfers and small fee transfers. Small fee as in as low as, Indian rupees, like some 9 paise is your transaction fee. That's nothing, right? You would want to pay something like that without any problem. So that's why Bitcoin Cash is pretty popular in the globe today for payments, because a lot of people find Bitcoin Cash to be a little bit more user friendly for payments and settlements. So UPI like feature is only in India. When I'm talking to some of my friends in South America or in Europe, when I'm in a conversation and I tell them, isn't it instant, like you get to know? They're like, Vikram, you know where we are. We are in Europe. We're not going to get instant settlements message. We only have to wait. Anything that happens on a weekend, we have to wait for Monday morning to get that clear understanding that yes, that transaction has completed. But with UPI in India, we get instant, settlements even on weekends. So that kind of a feature like UPI is nowhere in the world. That's where Bitcoin Cash comes into play. Places like in Ljubljana, which is the capital of Slovenia in Europe, and also in Australia, Bitcoin Cash is very popular for payments and settlements. Bitcoin is just an asset class. So on trading platform and asset class, Bitcoin is very famous. But Bitcoin Cash does both. Of course, it can be an asset and a trading tool. But for payments for the real masses of the world, Bitcoin Cash is out there. Even in Nigeria, Nigeria is very big in Bitcoin, but they are pretty big in Bitcoin Cash also, because they understand that payments and settlements for a smaller fee, only through Bitcoin Cash you can do that.
Yeah, I have one follow-up question. So you're saying that about this Bitcoin and how would we hold it and sell it better? So this is the race about Bitcoin and how to get into the race of Bitcoin Cash.
It's the same.
It's the same thing.
It is. It's exactly the same thing. It's very easier to even do on Bitcoin Cash, because when you send and receive Bitcoin Cash on InstaCrypto to buy and sell, you will experience it is much more quicker and much more instant settlement. So what I mean by instant settlement is, when I do a transaction of crypto, till it completely mines the block, you don't have the real settlement. With Bitcoin Cash, they've built another layer on top of it, which gives them 50 times you can move Bitcoin Cash even before a block has been mined. So that's the kind of feature Bitcoin Cash is, developers and the team are sitting and working on, because they're not just working on to make money on like the way Bitcoin is helping a lot of people. Here in Bitcoin Cash ecosystem, the idea is to make Bitcoin Cash the global payment system of the world. Global UPI. Think about the UPI kind of platform if it was there for globally available. You could build one song and sell to the whole world for a small piece of money. Like if you could receive like UPI 10 rupees from everyone. Now only India is not your market, it could be a global market, but sadly UPI is only in India. So even if you build something, you can only build it to Indians and then take money from Indians if you believe in just UPI. Similarly, if you believe that Bitcoin Cash can replace the UPI kind of system for the whole world, then Bitcoin Cash will take over the payment sector, which already it is doing. But that's what we want. We want to kick the sluggish brick and mortar banks. Why do we not like them as much now? Is because they are not able to manage and hold and execute that kind of transactions that's going to happen in the future. Example is post office. If post office could ever manage the amount of communication that we're doing on internet, post office would not have been replaced. But because we know the masses are going to indulge into communication at a level of unprecedented level, like the way we do now on WhatsApp, on any kind of social media or any kind of things, internet is what is helping us move information around instantly and quickly. If we had to depend on post office, would have not been able to have that kind of an achievement. So that's what crypto is going to give us. Through the banks, that kind of achievement of mass payments sector is not going to happen. For that reason, we need to understand what cryptocurrency can do and which crypto can actually provide that kind of a feature. Is actually Bitcoin Cash. There are a few other. Tron is one of them. I would say Dash. I would say even Litecoin. There are many out there that can do, because they have smaller fees compared to what the two most popular cryptocurrencies can offer. Like Bitcoin and Ethereum can offer very high fee, but the smaller fee cryptocurrencies can offer you that kind of payment sector. So Bitcoin Cash is also same transaction per second as Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin is the same protocol. Small things have been changed since 2017. So whatever that block timing of 10 minutes is the same. If you understand, it's the same code of Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash is the same as your Satoshi. Bitcoin has got a little change in the codes. The ledger is exactly the same. Whoever held Bitcoin before 2017's fork all have that Bitcoin Cash list also in that. after the fork, both the parties who all those who held Bitcoin also have the same number of Bitcoin Cash held by them. So some of them have decided to keep it, some of them have decided to sell and then take on to Bitcoin only. So like that, that's the idea. If you learn a little bit more about how fork happen in a cryptocurrency, you will learn about a little bit more in depth about what is Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, one more follow-up question.
Go ahead.
So, regarding everything that you said, that you were actually pointing that everything is possible with your Insta crypto. It's a best thing to start as a newbie for me.
Yeah.
What you can suggest?
Yes, very much. You can start with Bitcoin Insta crypto to get onto your cryptos. Once you get onto your crypto, then most people would like to explore a little bit more, right? The exploration is in the space of trading for most people. Because of that, Bitcoin, your Insta crypto is limited in that we don't allow you to trade on Insta crypto platform. Then, of course, once you learn about your own wallet and things like that, some of it you want to move it to a trading platform, and then maybe you want to trade there and things like that. So the idea is to bring in the little bit of knowledge of holding your own crypto. Because if you go straight on a trading platform, you may not learn that. You may not bring some of the crypto out of the trading exchange to hold it in your own, non-custodial wallet. So that may not happen. But the vice versa, when we let you buy into a non-custodial wallet, you may want to get into trading later, but you can do that both. At least you would have had some knowledge about a non-custodial wallet and how to secure your own cryptocurrency. Because the exchanges have let us down many times in the past, including our friend just mentioned about CoinSecure. Because if you had held your crypto in a crypto format, like Bitcoin format, you would have liked to receive it in Bitcoin format, which you didn't. You received it in INR. It's a little hard to again get that INR changed to crypto. So you lost the holdings of crypto, which shouldn't happen. So by a non-custodial wallet, your holding is intact. So nobody can change that part of it. So that's why we promote non-custodial wallets to start with.
One more follow-up question. When you say non-custodial wallets, and you said that there will be like a 24-karat code, can I relate this code to something like what we see in Brave browser to just sync with the phones?
I'm sorry, you will have to repeat that.
Yeah.
What browser you are comparing it to?
Yeah, I'm saying about the Brave browser, and which is the most privacy browser, and you won't be having an account here, but you will be sharing a code which should be scanned or typed on your phone to get it synced, like your passwords or bookmarks. I have seen this kind of code, like 24-character code or whatever, here itself in the Brave browser. So can you take it as a reference to as how your wallets do work the same?
I'm thinking it is similar then, because I've heard of a Brave browser, but I have not explored it completely to understand that. I think I should look into that. Now that you have asked me that question, I will look into that. But yes, similar fashion, like the way you explained. The only thing is that the recovery phrase that you get from your non-custodial wallet itself is like a password to your crypto. Because these wallets and non-custodial wallets are just a platform to bridge you to the blockchain. Because most of your coins are actually kept on not most, everything is kept on the blockchain. How do you access that from the blockchain? You need to have a private, like your private key, your password to that. That password is encoded into that 12 words. So the 12 unique words is what holds your password in the end of the day. So if you have those 12 codes, then you can enter that and recover your Bitcoin. What I mean by recover your Bitcoin is you are able to recover the capacity to spend that Bitcoin. So that's what is your private keys, your seed phrase and passphrase.
Yeah. So you're saying that whenever we lose a device, we can actually get back the access by this code, which
Yeah,
means
yeah.
the codes
So-
are actually not in our hands. I mean, the bitcoins or whatever the wallet is not in our hands. It was somewhere in online, and you can change the device and access it.
Yes, yes, very much. So what that codes do is recover your cryptocurrency for spending capacity. So if you write down and you keep, and then when you open a new wallet, or you say you downloaded a new other wallet, you have a Coinomi wallet, now you download a Bread wallet. So when you download a Bread wallet app, as soon as you download it, it'll ask you, do you want to use your old passphrase and retrieve a wallet, or would you like to start a new? When you start a new, it'll again give you a new set of codes. But if you want to recover an old one, then it'll just ask you to enter the 12 words, and the seed phrase that you've written down, if you enter it, it'll give you the same wallet again. But your now coins are kept in two different wallets. You can spend it from any one. Both will reduce that. So the same codes can be used in multiple wallets also.
Yeah, this is where I got confused, because you were saying that these are non-custodial wallets, and these will be completely in our hands. But it's like losing the device and accessing it once again from another device. So, which means we're actually not holding it.
Yeah, actually, nobody's holding it. The list of your coins is held on the blockchain, but your spending capacity is what is written on that seed phrase. That seed phrase will allow you to spend, but you cannot directly spend from that seed phrase. You have to enter the seed phrase in a wallet with a non-custodial wallet, and the non-custodial wallet platform will help you spend that. That's how it is. Because when you say send, you should have some cryptocurrency to send first. The list of the cryptocurrency that you hold will show up when you enter that seed phrase from that, the seed phrase that you've written down and kept. And when you download a wallet, it gives you the two options. One is, if you already have a seed phrase, enter that seed phrase here, it says. Or if you don't have a seed phrase, write down the new seed phrase, it will tell you. That's how you write down new seed phrase. Well, of course, when you write down the new seed phrase from that wallet, the wallet will be empty. So to receive some Bitcoin, then you use that wallet's receive address, put it on InstaCrypto, and pay in that rupees of how much you want to buy it for. And then that amount of cryptocurrency will come to your wallet and it'll sit on your wallet. And the seed phrase that you written down off that wallet controls that cryptocurrency, not particularly the wallet itself. The seed phrase that you wrote down is actually in control of that. Because in future, if you lose that phone, the seed phrase by re-entering in another phone will give you that access to spend that crypto that you bought from InstaCrypto.
Okay, so which means we don't have anything like insecure with the wallets, because we have that code.
Yeah, totally. At the same thing, in an exchange, they will not give you those codes, because in exchange is holding the wallet codes. They need to take control of your full Bitcoin. Only when they take control of your Bitcoin is when they'll allow you to trade, right? So that's how an exchange works. But of course, you will have to trust that exchange to that level. Depends on how long that exchange has been out there and what's the kind of system they've been following, things like that. When you read a little bit more about the exchange, then you believe in it. That's when you will put in a little bit and then trade. But of course, if you don't put in your cryptocurrency on the exchange, you cannot trade also. Because they allow you to trade is you will have to give that control of your cryptocurrency and put the trust in them.
Yeah, thank you. That answers my question. That's what I want to hear. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome, man. Guys, anyone else want to jump in and introduce yourself? There are a few more people who joined in new.
Vikram, I had to ask you that can we buy like altcoins or like coins which are not very popular apart from BTC and Ethereum on InstaCrypto?
There are 4 only coins right now, George, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Tron. The idea is that when you buy any one of them, most wallets on your phones, that is a non-custodial wallet also like Coinomi, will allow you to exchange from one coin to another. So that means even if InstaCrypto does not list the whole load of list that is out there, because the altcoins list is never ending. I don't know how many of you know about that. Altcoins have been coming and going, and there's unlimited numbers of altcoins that's out there. So we will not be able to list all of them. For that reason, we've listed a core few coins. Once you get hold of one of them and you hold it in your own wallet, most wallets allow you to internally trade from one to another. but not for fiat, but for crypto to crypto. Like the Coinomi gives you a link to, it's already inbuilt in that wallet. It'll allow you through this place called Coin Exchangely and CoinSwap and things like that. So what they allow you is, like, if you bought Bitcoin on InstaCrypto and you're holding it on the exchange, on your wallet, sorry, and then you want to change from Bitcoin to any other altcoins, look up on that internal exchange platform and it'll allow you to change the Bitcoin to any other. You don't have to change the whole Bitcoin also. Say if you bought for 5,000 rupees worth of Bitcoin and you want to change only 1,000 worth of Bitcoin to another altcoin, you can do that on your wallet. So the idea is to get the first crypto with your INR, right? That's what we are helping with. But once you get your crypto with your INR, then from crypto to change, you can do it in multiple places. We don't have to, because there are many outlets out there to support that. We didn't want to build that same thing to compete with others when somebody else has built a nice one. But nobody else has built a clear INR to crypto the instant way and a non-custodial way. That's why we've built InstaCrypto.
So the difference between like a trading platform and yours is basically, it's like we have our own control over our balance. So
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify. I came late, so.
True that. See, I'm not saying exchanges are bad, but then I guess some exchanges have done that in the past. They have got hacked internally, got hacked externally, lost their coins because of that hacking. So for those reasons, even UnoCoin, when I was holding my maximum number of Bitcoins was held on UnoCoin, even we as UnoCoin also got hacked in 2014. So hacking can happen to any exchanges. That's why we have an alternative, just so that not everybody should, just straight away blindly trust any exchange, because some exchanges may be very new and they're just opening their exchange to internally hack it also, because a lot of exchanges in the past have shown that internally the people who run the exchange themselves hack it and then, steal the coins. So for that reason, there should be an alternative, is why we have InstaCrypto.
Okay.
So we are actually at the end of our session. You guys have any more questions, or anybody else wants to introduce themselves and then talk about it? I think some of them didn't even have any chance to speak, like Hussein or Asima Gupta. I don't think we've even heard from you. You guys want to, unmute yourself and then introduce yourself, have a chat, talk about something about Bitcoin. Please go ahead. Well, I guess looks like we're pretty clear on that.
Vikram,
Hi, Hussein. Go ahead.
I'm Fayaz here.
Cool. It's Fayaz.
I think you remember me. I met you a few years ago, connected on LinkedIn. So it's been a long time since I attended a Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, we did. Where did we meet, Faisal?
Long ago, when you had that, I think around the time you started, Coin, and you introduced. I remember you introducing someone who built a coin called Saffron Coin then. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that must be a long time ago. 2014, 15, that was.
That is a long time.
So where were you from? From Bangalore?
I'm Bangalore.
Okay. So we met in one of these physical meetups that we had, is it?
Yes. It was, I think, somewhere around Jayanagar. There was one more person, right? I think his name started with an S.
Yeah. You're talking about Satvik Vishwanath, who's managing UnoCoin right now.
Yeah, Satvik. Yeah.
Totally, yes.
He and,
Oh, awesome.
But after that, I sort of,
I guess we had this video and everything, and we had the PPT slides for you guys, and we were showing all the, comparison of Bitcoin to money and all of that. Amazing. Yeah. So that was one of the times when we had this altcoin released by us, right? So that was Saffron Coin. You're right.
Yeah.
So like that, there's many coins came and went. Even Saffron Coin died so quickly. because it was mismanaged and not very well handled. The developer himself did not know how crooked the people were out there, and they played him around and did pump and dump, and then eventually that coin also went out of the site. So like that, many
Right.
altcoins have come and gone. But hey, nice to meet you again, Faisal
Yes,
Hussain, is it?
absolutely. Yeah. I thought I'll start joining again, so it feels long time. Yeah.
True.
So, probably be a little more frequent from now on. So.
Oh, definitely. We will stay connected. Of course, the price is up, so everybody is still interested. It's the usual thing of crypto. When the price goes up, a lot of people do kind of like come in and meet, and then we talk about it. So now the idea of talking is also about the lot of shit that's going around in the media, right? So because of which people are like, and I do not fear that.
Yeah, in fact, more than the price, right? It was that brought me here. All that noise that is happening around ban and all that. So.
Yeah, so media is doing a great deal of increasing adoption or increasing awareness by printing whatever that they're printing, good, bad, or ugly. People say around the world that media, whatever media does, is always helping. So good or bad, media is media. So even if they are printing bad things about crypto, saying that it's going to be banned and this and that and everything, it's still bringing in a lot of interest to people. So what I mean by that is, if you hear about crypto today, saying that crypto is bad, but 5 years down the line you hear about it again, if it is good or bad, what you heard previously does not matter. But you've heard about Bitcoin is what matters. So that's what media is bringing in today. They bring in a good publicity or a bad publicity. It doesn't really matter. They still bring in publicity for crypto. So that way, you understand, right? So eventually, the Bitcoin will be mainstream. May not be from one country, but collaboratively, many countries will have crypto as their clear use case. Will prove that the crypto will be their favorite choice. To start with, I think the global reserve has to be changed. Like the US dollar has to get replaced by Bitcoin. That is not at all an issue. It's just a matter of time to get that kind of market cap into Bitcoin. And even this year's bull run is not complete yet. We are expecting somewhere around 150,000 US dollars to touch per Bitcoin. Easily. Because if you see what happened just the last year, when 26% of inflation that happened by US dollars printing, which they printed 26 trillion, they make it look like a joke for printing trillions of dollars and devaluating people's money. And because they're doing it on a global reserve, you are actually devaluating remaining 200 countries' money also. So that has to get replaced. So to get it replaced, first Bitcoin has to gain that kind of a market cap. So this year's bull run, I'm hoping that Bitcoin will gain around 2 to 2.5 trillion market cap. Once that is set, then it will be a real contender. And by 2025, which is another bull run year that's coming up, because 2024 is the halving year. Once that happens, 2025 will be the bull run. And in that bull run, we are expecting some decent amount of, some 25 to 30 trillion US dollars, 30 trillion in market cap for Bitcoin. Then it starts giving competition to US dollar. Then it's a contender to be replaced. So we would like that to be US dollars to be replaced with Bitcoin first. And then maybe everyone will start using Bitcoin.
Yeah, hopefully. In fact, Musk announced that he's going to accept Bitcoins as payment, right, for Tesla. That happened about yesterday or the day before a ban.
Well, very right. I guess Tesla is not the first one, right? Richard Branson did that a long time ago for Virgin
Correct.
trips. So now it is Elon Musk. And it'll happen, yeah. Slowly and steadily, everybody will start accepting. The reason they are accepting is because they don't have to then buy into crypto. They can store that for hodling purpose, and maybe just 10% of them will use crypto now in the next few years. So 10% of their turnaround, if they hold it in Bitcoin, they are looking at some great profits in the future, right? So everybody's understanding that at that level. Sadly, smaller companies and smaller institutions who they go ahead and do this and nobody's going to believe them. But bigger institutions, when they start accepting Bitcoin, people believe in that. any ways, which is good news is good news. So it can come from a big company also now.
Right, it can be a ripple effect also.
True that. So yeah. And we've got another question from George is saying RBI is buying up Bitcoin. Do you think so? I think RBI may not be buying crypto yet, but they're not behind. India need not be behind in many things. India can, join late also and still do wonders like how we did in the internet. We're still one of the biggest players, right, on the internet today. So we still didn't join internet very early. We joined late, but we still are the big players. So like that, I think even with cryptocurrency, even if we don't join in early, we'll still be a good and big players in the future. So there's a last question I can take on this message board that we have is what about stability for transactions, right? So that's a very good question. That's been one of those questions not been asked till now in this meetup. Stability is like one of the biggest thing in cryptocurrency, right? Because the fluctuation, a lot of people's taste is put off. So yes, if it replaced USD, that's what I meant. Your stability is in the fluctuation. So because it fluctuates more, it's not stable, is what people think. I would argue that because stability in a global value system, it has stability in holding that value in a same price from yesterday to today. It may not be doing that yet. But of course, if you understand that the adoption is so small, because the adoption is so small, the fluctuation is a little bit high. But the stability means that if you buy into crypto today and you know the fluctuation is going to come and go, but you will continue to hold, that means it's already a stable coin. In a way, means in your mind, you know it is stable in terms of gaining price over the period of time, may not be for a shorter while. But otherwise, a price fluctuation that happens in crypto does not really affect the transaction. How do I say that and why do I say that? Is because your crypto transactions are instant. Say somebody had to send me 200 rupees or 2000 rupees from US to India, and they sent me in Bitcoin 2000 rupees. At the time when they sent that 2000 rupees worth of Bitcoin, it was 2000. I received it as also 2000 because the time it takes to reach from there to here is not necessarily much. So there's no much fluctuation. Most times, like in Bitcoin Cash, I would say it's instant. So there's zero fluctuation. So instantly I received 2000 rupees worth. Now, if I switch from that holding of crypto to exchanging it instantly, I do not lose anything. I still got my 2000 rupees. So I don't see any worry in terms of the fluctuation of that. Why you can't value things in BTC when you're valuing things in USD today and USD is still fluctuating? You value things in any other product, which is gold, INR, or whatever that is, they all do fluctuate. The fluctuation is very little, doesn't mean that it is not fluctuating. Even though US dollar is adopted by the whole globe by force or whatever, because if you don't try and use US dollar and try and use your gold, you get killed. You know that, right? Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi got killed for that reason. They're not getting killed for their weapon of mass destruction. No, they did not have that. They had gold. They wanted to use gold to do global trade, but they were removed because they were boasting their gold for a global trade. The US government wanted them to use only the paper that they print. So even that paper that is globally adopted still has a small fluctuation. That means if I was playing in trillions or in billions, which like Indian government does in billions of dollars, we still face a lot of fluctuation in terms of the price, even though it fluctuates in small cents only. So that means the fluctuation is still there. The stability is not there even in US dollars. So if you see the adoption is 100%, still there is fluctuation. In Bitcoin, the adoption is not even 1% globally. So for that reason, there is a small fluctuation here. Yes, there is. But to understand that and how to overcome that is very easy. Use an instant transactions, use exchanges to instantly change that value to your INR. Like if you received the 2000 rupees and you linked with something like InstaCrypto and it directly received to the InstaCrypto wallet and you got changed to 2000 rupees, you actually didn't lose any money. You got your 2000 rupees. So the fluctuation doesn't really affect the transactions. Well, the fluctuation actually helps in something that has been really useful in crypto space is trading. If it didn't fluctuate as much, trading wouldn't be as much. So that's an added advantage of the instability that you would call it, or the fluctuation that you would call in the crypto space. Those are very small things anyway, but it's a great question. I hope it answered, but I guess it was a great conversation and it's a great meetup. We'll give it another couple of minutes. You guys have any question? Please go ahead. Thanks, my man. So it's a new world in itself, right? Crypto space. So there's a lot of things we do not straight away get it, is because we're not in that space from a long time. Thank you very much, Asima. And thank you very much, every one of you. You guys were there. You guys asked me the right questions. This is how we spoke about it for so long. Great going from you guys. You guys were like smart enough to have understood so much, and then been following so many things. That's how you guys had the right questions also to ask here. So thanks to you, thanks to everyone, and yes, Faisal Hussain, it was really nice meeting again. That was you reminded me of those days. Yeah, it was like really nice. We should talk about so much on that physical meetup. Same. Okay, my friends. You guys take care. Have a nice week ahead, and we'll catch up some other time again. Definitely next meetup, man. Take care. Bye. But here we are. So to start with, the question was great. How did I get into UnoCoin, right? How did I start that? What's my experience? So I was living in England, and I had some assets in England till 2011. I was living there. I lived and worked in the UK, because a lot of people say they went abroad and they spent a lot of time and things like that. But in abroad, when you work in abroad and then live there, own your own assets like house and things, till that time, that's an experience of abroad. So that's what I got. I was living there from 2004 till 11 for 7 years. When I was living in England, I was working for Hilton, and then I had some assets. One of them was my house. The price of the assets just collapsed in 2008, and for me, I come from India, right? So house and your property, your land value don't just collapse like the way it did in the UK. So for me, I wanted to look for some answers. So I was looking up online, and I came across Bitcoin. When I came across Bitcoin, I just wrote it off, because for me it didn't make sense at all at the time. But eventually, when I was doing this research of how these 7 big banks in the UK are so in control of the people, of 97% of the people in the UK are so well controlled by the banks, because they bumped their housing prices and they gave mortgages only to the new house buyers, that eventually bumped up the price and everything. But what happens when it collapses? When it collapses, the people become banks' slaves. Means like I was paying about £700 a month as my mortgage. Then after the recession, because I'm not able to pay so much, I usually end up paying like say 300, 200 to £300.